Well,
Uh,
it's not really a great start if you are an Indian fan here because rain has delayed the beginning of day 5 of the second test between England and India at Edgbaston, Birmingham. It has been confirmed that it's actually pelting down in Edgbaston, and more than likely there's a chance that the first session could really be wiped out. So the latest update that we can give you is that it's really heavy rain at Edgbaston, and it could really just wash out the first session, not looking good unless maybe you are an England fan. And that's the thing that we have for you for what's the latest update that we have until the day 4 is that England had lost a total of 3 wickets in their pursuit of a total of 608 odd runs, and it was obviously rain predicted on day 5. There were about 30 to 40% chances of rain, but now it has actually enhanced. It rained earlier in the morning also, and now same has been the case.
there goes my prediction for a second session thing. Because, see, what's happened is if you look at the weather forecast, it's been raining from early morning. It's been raining since 6 a.m. in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So now you're going to see the really heavy rain that is coming up until 12:15 local time. 12:15 local time means 4:45. 4:45 p.m. IST is when you are going to see rain. And that means all the mop-up operations, all the cleanup and everything, it will take you at least an hour more. So by all estimates, your first session of day 5 is washed out. First session of day 5, and you now have only 2 more sessions to ensure that you take the remaining
Which
7
means that
wickets.
effectively you have lost about 30 overs of this match.
You have lost 30 overs, but remember one more thing. You can actually extend the session timings.
Because it's the, and why Siddharth says that, because let me confirm you, it's the last day of the match and a total of 90 overs have to be bowled. So even if the play, if you have to accommodate a total of 90 overs here, the play can actually be extended beyond 12 a.m. IST also, so as to make sure that you have all full overs.
Well, that is the thing. So, see, we may have a revised session timings after the first session if the rain stops. But then in the Midlands, if there is no wind and it is absolutely pelting down,
That's what Ishan Sharma says.
then I think you are not going to see this rain go away very quickly. Because what happens is, if there is wind, the rain will go away pretty quickly, and it's absolutely dark and dank at Edgbaston at this point in time. So you must also seeing the ground report that has been done on our sister channel also, that yes, it's really not looking good at Edgbaston at this point. Now the main problem is, okay, what's happening is the main pitch is covered, okay? The hover cover is there, it's been spread out all across. But with all this rain, what about the outfield? What about the outfield? That mopping up is going to take, and if there is no sun, then it could take a bit longer. If there is sun, then it could ease up the drying a bit further, and that is why rain, it saved India in 2007. That is what Saurav Kumar is like saying, that it saved India in Lords 2007. Maybe the rain will save England at Edgbaston also. We don't know at this point in time. So
I think in a way, maybe India did the right thing by batting England out of the contest, and had it not been for the rain, obviously India would have started the day well. The day would have started well in advance. Things would have been completely fine. But now you got to, go back to the declaration part. Two things that could really play a massive role if this test at least turns out to be a draw. One is obviously that first and the second session that India had against England, when Jamie Smith and Harry Brook were batting. At that particular point in time, India weren't really able to strike those wickets at crucial intervals, and that allowed both Smith and Brook to take England to a pretty decent total, although India still were able to get a good, a healthy lead, but that did not really turn out to be well. And secondly, when you know that you had a lead of about 484, and on any given day, any test match, day 5, 484, it will never be easy, whether it's the baseball approach or any kind of approach. That's where I think India probably made a mistake by not declaring anytime soon. But then, even if it's a full day rain, would you still look much into India's delayed declaration?
see, I've always been saying, okay, I didn't take into account the rain, okay? We are all taking into account that the rain might not play a major part, but today on day 5, it's come.
Yeah.
Today, day 5, you now essentially have 2 more sessions. England now will have further more determination to ensure that they do not throw their wickets away. Yes, they will have to counter the new ball for 1.5 hours. That's also there. You'll have another 10-15 overs with this particular ball, and Siraj and AajTak will continue. They have been the best bowlers that have been on offer. But the one problem that is there is, see, with this rain, I am again pointing back at England's this pitch coverage. I mean, they'll only cover the pitch and the outfield on the small part of the infield. Why not cover the whole field? Because that will further take up mopping operations even further, and that is why
But that's not really a problem that has come in the last couple of years or so.
It's been
This
there
has
in
been
England
a problem
always.
with England. You know, it's Sri Lanka who actually do the right thing by covering the whole ground. Something that we have seen at the Eden Gardens also. They also cover the whole ground. I think maybe there's a lesson to be learned.
So that is the thing. See, now if the match, if India don't manage to take the 7 wickets that is there, okay? If that is a big if, it can very well happen. But what if they can't take? This one session washed out can't be the excuse that is there.
Exactly.
I had mentioned day 4 yesterday, and there were several uncharitable comments that were passed us saying that 484. There is a reason why you should not have. There is a reason why 450 plus has not been chased ever in Test cricket history, and it's because of all these kind of a sessions. So that is why, if India had declared at 484, you could have very well, instead of 72 for 3, it could have been 150 for 6. We don't know. Anything could have happened. Now, you are risking the chance that this test match will go all the way until the final minute. England are potentially 8 or 9 down, and you don't have the time to take the remaining wickets.
Yeah.
But if people then now jump on the bandwagon stating that, oh, this first session got washed out, yeah, it can't be helped, but India's approach was right, then it's a huge issue. You were defensive, you continue to be defensive, you only got aided by the fact that England just lost it up here in their final session when they gifted those 3 wickets. Okay, so that is why this is going to be question marks on Gill's captaincy, the urge to declare, and what were you doing in the 3rd session? You just can't keep on accumulating 600, 700 runs. By that way, no total is ever safe in cricket. This is the problem. So that's why if India don't take those 7 wickets, and one hopes that for their sake they take those 7 wickets, but if that doesn't happen, then criticism will be rightfully directed at Gill, the management, for not declaring earlier.
This is where, I just come to a question, and you guys can also, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And let's just, I think, talk a bit about Gautam Gambhir. Gautam Gambhir, the white ball coach, has been exemplary. The performances have been brilliant with those T20 series win against Bangladesh and South Africa, against England, the Champions Trophy win. So overall, that department has been taken care of. But the Gautam Gambhir, the red ball coach, has been underwhelming, to say the least. Ever since, he has taken charge, the only series win that has come was against Bangladesh. But after that, it has all gone downhill. There have been a couple of major retirements also. But if we take a look at some of the team decisions, or maybe the results that have not gone in India's favor, what do you think, if this match turns out to be a draw, does it really put that kind of massive pressure on him, on his position as the red ball coach? Or would you still give him a few more matches to, prove that the results can still change? Personally, if you ask me, I think that it's going to put a lot of pressure on him.
See, his position, he might be under pressure, but there are no further options. What are the other options that you got? You don't have any coaching options, but that is all later.
Laxi?
No, but I think, see, that will all come to know, we'll come to know about it by August 4th.
Yeah.
Because August 4th, you will come to know what is the series result. If Gautam Gambhir does the unthinkable and manages to win the series, what if? I'm presenting scenario number 1. What if India win the series?
Then he continues as a coach. It's as simple as that.
If it's a draw, then also he continues. If it's a loss, I don't see any other replacement in the long-term era who wants to take up the poison chalice of Indian cricket. So that is why, look, at this point in time, we are on this limbo that, okay, 7 wickets are there. There is rain predicted until 12:15 p.m. local, which means
which is about 5 p.m. here.
Which is about 5 p.m. here, and that means you will see the first session washed out. But don't worry, because you will have extended second and third sessions.
Okay, so just to interrupt you, there's some positive news that the rain is not as heavy as anymore. It's not really pelting down. It's still a little bit persistent, but it's more of a steady drizzle. We'll only start losing overs after an hour of play is lost, which means that we will start losing overs at about 4:30 p.m. IST. So before that, there's going to be no deduction in overs at all. And the positive news that we have for you, in case you have just joined us, well, first of all, rain has delayed the beginning of the final session or first session on day 5, but now earlier it was pelting down. It had been pelting down from the morning itself at Edgbaston, but now the good news is that it's not really heavy anymore. It's still a drizzle, but a persistent drizzle.
But that is actually not good news.
Yeah.
Because if it's persistent drizzle, then that's even more frustrating. Because it will stay on, it will continue to be there, and it will take some time, because you're definitely losing overs. Because I don't see this, what did they say, until 4:30, right?
Yeah, until 4:30. We'll only start losing overs after an hour of play is lost, which is obviously 4:30 p.m. IST.
4:30 p.m. I see. No, I don't see the play resuming unless the rain stops immediately. Unless it stops immediately and then you get the pitch ready by 4:30, it's not going to happen. So yes, you can extend 1 hour. I mean, 11:30 or 12 o'clock, you can extend 11:30. As much as I know, 11:30 p.m. IST is the final to final cutoff. That is what it's happening.
No, actually the point is, see, today is the last day of the match and you have to accommodate 90 overs somehow. So even if the play has to extend until 12:30 a.m. IST, or for that matter 1 a.m. IST, it will go until then, so that a total of full 90 overs can be bowled.
Yep. So that is why, see, but the light and everything, Saurav Kumar saying, but light, it can improve, because see, only the first session is a problem. After that, second and third session, there is just no rain.
Flood at the stadium?
No, I think he's
decipher
just,
it for me?
I think he's just trying to
Aravas,
say,
are you at the stadium, or it's just something that...
he's just trying to get attention. There's no
Yeah,
flood at
yeah,
the stadium.
yeah.
See, there is puddles. What we can see is there are puddles at the stadium, at the ground where it is there, near the covers. The ground staff are working on it. But see, this is where 1 hour, 4:30 p.m. IST, meaning you will start losing overs. But then session timings extended. How many overs can you bowl in the day? So maybe you have a half an hour extension for the second session. You have a 1 hour extension for the final session, which means 12 or 12:30. Because in England, what they do is they extend the session timings. They never start on before. So that is why I cannot recollect what are the session timings that have happened in that sense. So we will have to wait on the official broadcasters as to what will be the thing. So that's why it's a steady drizzle at this point in time. It's going to be like, okay, steady drizzle means at least another half an hour, but 12:15 IST Indian time, Birmingham time, there's no rain. That's what the weather is. That's what the AccuWeather is showing at this point in time, that there is a band of rain that has come. 12:15 local, meaning 4:45, the rain will
about
absolutely
5
stops.
p.m. IST, it should be fine.
Yeah. So I think first session washed out. Next two sessions, you'll have 1.5 hour extensions combined of both. So yes, it doesn't.
What do you think, would be India's strategy from here on? Like, what do you do with the bowlers? See, even in the first innings, apart from Akashdeep and Mohammad Siraj, no one really inspired any kind of confidence. But this time around, Prasidh Krishna has started off well. So what do you do with the spells of these bowlers? Would you give an extended spell to both Akashdeep and Siraj, or maybe you try and rotate your bowlers?
No, I think, see, you will give an extended spell to Siraj and Akashdeep. You will give them about 6 overs each, or 7 overs apiece. So 14 overs. 14 overs, try and get 2-3 wickets with this ball that is there. So it's still relatively fresh, 17 overs. But at this point in time, it's going to... I mean, the ball goes out of shape. This current batch of Duke's balls, if England have any chance, they should import those balls from the West Indies. Because that is achieving far more success in the Grenada Test match that you're looking at it. So England will have to be wary of the fact that perhaps the first 14 overs will be bowled by Akashdeep and Mohammad Siraj. Then the rest of the bowlers come in. Prasidh will have to bowl with discipline. Then you need Jaddu stepping up, Washington setting. And on this kind of a wicket, with being under the covers and with it, with all the weather over that is there, I mean, it could be cloudy. There is cloudy weather expected, but there's also sunny weather expected. So make hay until the bowling absolutely ensures that you make use of the overcast conditions, and then pray that England's batters don't step up. Because see, there are people who can hang in, like a Ben Stokes can hang in. Maybe a Jamie Smith can do it yet again. There is
Ben
Chris
Stokes is
Wokes.
no more the clutch batter that he used to be in Test cricket. He is not the same old batter. He is turning out to be a walking wicket, arguably.
Yeah, he's averaging 26 in the last 13, 14 test matches
Yeah.
that is there. But see, Ben Stokes, bigger the occasion, pressure situation, bigger the contribution. And that's why Ben Stokes is going to be really, really important for England to stay on. And see, even Harry Brook, I remember, he had a cheeky dig at Gill. I mean, there is rain expected. Why don't you declare? And lo behold, Harry Brook's prediction has come true. There is rain. There, you might see the first session get totally washed out. There
Yeah.
might be some issues where, okay, it's not heavy, but it is steady drizzle. That is even more frustrating. That is the way when I have to look at it, and it will all go back to that declaration.
And even that second session also, first and second session, Jamie Smith and Harry
Oh
Brook.
yeah. There
Yeah.
are 3-4 sessions which made a difference. I mean, India's approach in session number 3, India's approach on day 3, session number 2. They were trying different things, but it didn't work. But from 84 for 5, you allowed them to erase the deficit and just have 180 runs as a
Yeah.
lead. That could haunt them in a way. But Gill, his mindset as a captain will be tested today. But then with the bowling composition that he had to be defensive.
I think that's where I think Gill would have to be a little more mindful also, assuming you have, say, about 50 or 55 odd overs throughout the day, then you would have to be mindful of how do you use both Siraj and AajTak, because this is not the last test that they are going to play as far as this series is concerned. You would have to use them in the Lord's Test, maybe in Manchester also, wherein the trio of Bumrah, Siraj and AajTak would be very crucial because the ball swings throughout the day in Manchester. So I think that's where he'll have to be mindful. You cannot really give them extended spells. There has to be some kind of rotation. I think this is where the role of Prasidh Krishna is going to be pretty useful. See, more than likely, irrespective of the result of this match, Prasidh Krishna will not play in Lords because of the performance that AajTak has put, and Mohammad Siraj is once again turning out to be a workhorse. So you more than likely will go with Bumrah, Siraj and AajTak, and either of Shardul Thakur or Nitish Reddy as the fourth seamer. So with Prasidh Krishna, he has nothing to lose. He knows that more than likely he's going to get the axe for the next test. Better to put up a performance and make sure that he still stays in contention for Lords.
See, that is the situation. But then if you want to come back in the series, absolutely give them hell at that point in time for this particular match. If you want to ensure you stay alive in the series, give them hell. But then if India do not manage to take the remaining 7 wickets, I would say it is a collective failure. Collective failure from the captain, collective failure from the coach, collective failure from the management, collective failure from all the players. Everybody will have to be answerable to that debacle. But then this will only come up if you do not win Edgbaston. Please let us, I have given you context into that. All this criticism will come if you do not win Edgbaston.
Yeah.
But if you win Edgbaston, typical Indian mentality, we will sweep it all under the carpet. And we just don't care. Jo
that
abhi
usually
ho raha hai.
happens.
Yeah. Whatever happens now, okay, let's enjoy it. Let's not worry about the other things. But for me, I'm looking at a holistic picture as to why every win can't be celebrated in isolation. Every loss cannot make it better in isolation. And many people are saying, Saurabh, rain might make pitch better for fast bowlers. No, I don't think so.
I
See,
think the cloud cover is going to obviously
Cloud
help the
cover.
pace bowlers. That's for sure. I think that's where Prasidh
Yeah.
Krishna, Siraj, AajTak will get that extended help. But I think you need a few overs. You need about 50 to 60 odd overs for the Indian bowlers to make sure that they can extract a positive result in their favor. But let's see how things really go. In case you have just joined us,
Yeah.
well, the latest update that we have for you, that rain has delayed the beginning of day 5 here. The first session will more than likely be wiped out. We are not going to lose any overs until 4:30 p.m. IST.
which is now 50 minutes away.
Yeah, which is now 50 minutes away. If there's no play or no ball is bowled until 4:30 p.m., there are going to be no deduction in overs. Only after that there is going to be the case, and a total of 90 overs will still be accommodated throughout the day.
Yeah, so again, let us just hope that you can get play. Maybe you can extend play by 1 hour second session, 1 hour for final session. I'm not saying half an hour second session, maybe 1 hour, maybe 1 hour. You can take an early lunch, you can do all of kind of things to ensure time is made up on that set. But yes, if the rain doesn't stop now immediately, then I think you are going to see the first session washed out totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not looking good at this point. Let's hope. But the rain's only a persistent drizzle, which is in the Midlands. It's scary because if there is no wind, it will ensure that it stays there for a longer period. But then 12:15 Birmingham time, the rain stops. That is what the weather forecast has
But
been
that's
showing.
also, the fickle English weather. It can still continue to rain. You never
It
know.
is, it is, it is. Trust me, English weather is very, very fickle, my friends. So, yeah, we'll be back with the latest session updates as to when and how it happens. So, thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this update. And we'll take all your comments once we know what is the session like and what is the outlook like. But yes, if it ends in a draw, it's going to be lots and lots and lots of questions asked.
Not many questions on Shubman Gill, still very new to the captaincy thing, but definitely
even
a
on
lot
him.
more questions on Gautam Gambhir.
Even on him in that sense. And okay, there was something at this point in time. And okay, there I just want to take this. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
be very
Yeah, let's
delayed on it. And okay.
Let me do it for you.
Yeah, you are giving away your limited knowledge of the game. I mean, I don't know why I think it doesn't.
Yeah,
work.
go ahead.
Memorizing stats isn't okay. Isn't a reflection of the understanding
See,
of the
the
game.
point is that, I don't think that many people are able to do it. And it's not about, any PR that we really do. It's also a skill that everyone needs to have. If you don't really remember the math, stats, and facts, how are you going to really put things into perspective? So I think it's a great thing if you ask me. But then it's great, you have an opinion, and to each his own.
I know it's unfortunate that this is a democracy at this point in
No,
time.
that's
If we
fine.
were, if we were an autocracy, we would have just shut him down. But then see, each is entitled to their opinion.
That's fine, that's
It's at this point in time. So yes, I don't know what kind of limited game you're doing. You're just pointing out that there is rain delay. Only and only if it doesn't work out in that way, then only questions will be asked. We're not preempting everything at this point. So thank you so much, folks. We'll be back for more updates as and when it comes. So bye bye. See you soon.